In an alternate world from ours, tensions between Russia and the US have only grown increasingly worse, constantly clashing politically and each threatening each other through strange and concerning threats. During this time, a notorious company run by the richest family in Spain, the Rosabons, has gained a monopoly on imports rivaling that of China's in our own world. Any competitors seem to have disappeared under unusual and untraceable circumstances, as a large portion of money is transferred into a bought-out laboratory in France. Under the guise of research into curing cancer, the head of the Rosabond family, Judas Rosabond, with the help of the Spanish and French armies, devised research into chemical warfare, seeing it as the future to replace the nuclear Cold War and profit from it. Experiments started with animals, but eventually they began to shift to humans with huge success. They were able to create a form of chemical brainwashing that completely took over the brain like a parasite. Meanwhile, a civil war had broken out on the southern eastern border of Russia between an extremist group and the Russian government. It had been going on for 3 years by this point. Many soldiers and extremists fought against each other, each side taking notable losses. As a Russian nurse goes into labor in a medical camp whilst tending to a patient, the child's father is fighting in one of the ruined cities. At this time, Judas was wanting a son to take over his company and expand their company further. However, when they went to the doctor, they learned she was going to have a daughter. Judas was furious, and in a fit of desperation, has an affair with an American volunteer worker named Mary Franklin. However, she would also bear a daughter, and he quickly abandoned her and hid any ties he had with his mistress as he buried himself in his work. And then, Russia made good on their nuclear threat towards the US and launched 4 nuclear bombs at them, causing the US's nuclear early warning system to alert twice. America fought back with nuclear missiles in the hundreds launched across Europe and towards Russia, so many nukes were launched during this sudden escalation that within the hour the world as they knew it had become a wasteland. The child of the Russian nurse was born the moment the nukes were launched. His mother died from childbirth, and reportedly his father died on the battlefield as missiles rained down across Europe. French spies stationed in the medical camp by the Rosabond organization stole the orphaned child and a sword that had been given to his mother as a reminder of her husband, and managed to safely escape the worst of the nuclear fallout as they returned to the laboratory in France. There, a Chinese and German scientists had managed to also escape to the lab, the building being made to withstand a nuclear bombing such as this, along with their partners and children, one a baby girl, the other a baby boy. At the time, the French scientists had just finished stabilizing a French test subject, perfecting the process so that the brainwashing could be triggered by wearing a special mask, offered by a family that had acted as servants for the Rosabond family, carrying out their assassinations and dirty work behind the scenes for them. Alongside their chemical research, another team of scientists had been working on a space project meant to send and sustain life on a different planet that they had found was habitable for human life. With the world already lost to nuclear war and the signs of a nuclear winter already starting to creep out of the skies, the chemical research was shut down and they focused on completing the space operation, The Life We Raised Together. Taking prisoners that they had been secretly also using for experiments, they forced them to wear devices that could transfer the human mind into an AI, causing their bodies to crumble and turn to bone dust as their minds were uploaded. Mary, seeking refuge, managed to find the still-standing laboratory with her recently born daughter, and sought mercy from the father that had abandoned them. Reluctantly, Judas Roserbond agreed to take the child in as part of the space program, paying the likely already doomed scientists an extra fee of gold and jewels to keep it quiet, and making Mary write a letter to make it seem it was out of an unrelated act of charity. As they were taking the babies onto the ships and putting whatever knowledge and information of Earth they could onto them, some of the staff even storing games and propaganda from their homes, a group that had been investigating the Roserbond Company ambushed them. Having survived the nuclear fallout, they were out for revenge and blood, and started to kill the scientists along with Judas and Mary. The father of the German baby managed to hit the launch just in time to launch the spaceships into orbit before also being murdered. All 6 babies safely escaping the destroyed Earth, which they would later themselves call Old Earth.